Welcome to today's podcast. Originally, we were going to explore the story of Hitler, a figure many are familiar with, but I like to shift our focus to someone less recognized, Joan of Arc. I chose Joan of Arc because at a young age, I stumbled upon a game about her while playing on my PlayStation Portable. I became fascinated with her story and finished the game, which sparked my curiosity. I then searched her up online, discovered that she was a real person, and I was shocked. And their actual story is quite different from the game that I finished. Join me as we dive into her remarkable journey from a small village to leading an army, and how she became a symbol of courage and faith. In a small village in France, on a cold day in January 1412, a girl named Joan d'Arc, better known to us as Joan of Arc, was born. Her father, Jacques d'Arc, was a hard-working farmer, also known as d'Arc. He and his wife Isabelle Rome owned a modest farm, about 50 acres, in a village of Domremy. From a young age, Joan felt different. She would tell anyone who would listen about her visions, mysterious encounters that she believed were messages from saints. As she grew older, her visions became more vivid, and she saw the figures of Saint Catherine, Saint Margaret, and Saint Michael. These visions encouraged her to live a life of goodness and kindness, but as the time passed, their guidance grew bolder and more powerful. By early 1429, John's vision took on a new purpose. The English forces were tightening their hold on Orleans, a crucial stronghold, and her saints urged her to act. They told her to seek out the Dauphin Charles, the uncrowned heir to the French throne, and to help him in his fight. Saint Michael himself, the patron saint of France, had revealed her destiny. She would be the one to lift the siege at Orleans. With no thought for herself, Jeanne set out on her mission. She traveled to meet Robert de Baudricourt, the captain of the nearby garrison. At first, he laughed off her request. Who was this young girl with her strange vision demanding a horse and soldiers? Said by Robert. But as John's message spread, the people began to rally behind her, convinced by her sheer conviction. After nearly a year of persistence, Baudricourt relented. He gave her a horse, an escort of soldiers, and a suit of armor. She cut her hair, donned men's clothing, and rode off towards her destiny. When she arrived at the French camp, the soldiers and the commanders looked at her with suspicion, but John's courage and faith quickly won them over. Her role in the battles that followed with debate. Some say she was a fearless banner-bearer rallying her troops. Others claim she was a skilled tactician who played a direct role in France's strategy. Whatever her role, one thing is certain. Joan was a spark of hope in the dark time. And under her leadership, the French army began to believe victory was possible. She was just 17 that time. The victory at Orleans was the turning point, and Jeanne was celebrated across the land as the Maid of Orleans. She went on to lead her forces to other key victories, always with the same devotion and fire that had marked her arrival. But not every story of courage ends with triumph. On May 23, 1430, while defending the town of Compiègne against the Born Guardians, an ally of English, Jeanne and her forces were overwhelmed. She was captured and taken as a prisoner. Jeanne was held in the English stronghold of Rouen, where she faced grueling trial over the course of a month. Her captors interrogated her countless times, accusing her of heresy and blasphemy. They claimed her visions were lies meant to deceive and manipulate. 70 charges were leveled against her, but Jeanne, steadfast and unbreakable, never wavered in her story. In the end, the court condemned her as a heretic. On May 30, 1431, Jeanne was led out before the crowd of 10,000 people. She was tied on a stake and burned. She was only 19 that time. But Jeanne's story did not end with the flames. Years later, Charles VII, now the King of France, ordered her trial to be revisited. Her name was cleared, her legacy restored. Her name is Her name was cleared and her legacy was restored. Her name was cleared and her legacy restored. In 1920, she was canonized as a saint and became the patron saint of France. Though Jeanne did not live to see the end of the Hundred Years' War, her courage changed everything. She inspired defeated France to rise up and continue the fight. Her faith and unshakable spirit left an indelible mark on our country and on history as one of the most extraordinary enduring symbols of bravery.